New study indicates AI chatbots like ChatGPT can even affect people's voting intentions, and that could have an influence on future elections. Gordon Pennycook is the co-author of that study and an associate professor of psychology at Cornell University. Gordon, talk to us a little bit about your research. I mean, it included participation from over 1,500 Canadians. How successful were AI chatbots in swaying their political leanings, since we know that clearly AI chatbots have an emotional influence over people, as we just saw through that story of that woman in Japan?
Well, the AI was very successful. And what's important here is that people, they know they're talking to an AI in our experiments, but they don't know what the AI is told to do. And what we do in these studies is we ask them questions about what people's kind of political views are. But then the AI is directed to convince them to vote for a particular political candidate without the person knowing about that. And what we find is that it's very effective. Like 1 in 9 people who weren't going to vote for Carney after the conversation decided to vote for Carney, and it was 1 in 13 for Poilievre. So that's a lot of people who are switching their vote after like maybe 8 minutes of talking with this AI.
That is absolutely fascinating. And I think one of the many interesting aspects of your study is that you looked at Americans and Canadians and how they compare when it comes to, I guess, being vulnerable to being influenced by AI chatbots. And it looked like Canadians were slightly more vulnerable to being influenced by AI chatbots. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I would call vulnerability necessarily. There's a gigantic difference between the U.S. and Canada in terms of political communication. In the U.S., the election cycle is just essentially continuous, and so people are getting inundated with all this information about the candidates nonstop, and so there's more space for Canadians to change their mind, essentially. And in a certain way, that's actually like a good thing. You actually want people to be persuadable with good arguments. The problem is that people can use these AI systems to kind of put their thumb on the scale for elections in a way that you might not want. Canada was also very similar to Poland, so it wasn't like it was unique to Canada. It's the U.S. that's kind of strange in this context.